Welcome back to Goldberg's Garage. Now, every time we put an episode out, I like to think that it's something special. Today, we got something extra special. At over 800 horsepower and a guesstimated top speed of over 200 miles an hour, we have the 1965 unique motor cars Ernie Elliott 427 replica Cobra. Okay, I'm gonna bring my buddy Jackson Hill in. Jackson is not only a friend of mine, but he's my main mechanic here at Goldberg's Garage. Now Jackson, like every other car that had been sitting for 3 years in storage, we had to pull this thing out, massage it a little bit, and get it running again. This car was built in '94, so it's gonna be dated. But they're dated for a reason initially because it's a replica of a '65 Cobra.
Basically, the brakes are in the rear differential are out of a Jaguar with a very small, inadequate capabilities compared to what is under the hood. And this car was never really designed to have that under the hood. 289.
289 was probably the most drivable package for this car, no question about it. I mean, the interior is nothing special by any stretch of the imagination. It's just basically Stewart Warner gauges, a launch control button, and two extremely rudimentary seats. I mean, it's got a Borg Warner T10 transmission. The thing is absolutely terrifying as a vehicle. I mean, you put this package together in a quote-unquote kit car, and you better hold on for your freaking life every single time you start this car and put it into gear.
If you're taller than 5'6" and you have a shoe size bigger than 8, it's almost impossible for you to drive.
Yeah, I mean, just the foot placement alone is absolutely brutal for a guy wearing a size 14 shoe. I mean, a lot of times I have to wear racing shoes to drive this car just because they're a lot smaller footprint than these damn running shoes. And like I say, the main safety for this vehicle is this wonderful single hoop roll bar, which probably goes up to my shoulder.
Yeah.
And the comes with the traditional 427,
Side pipes
that are almost as dangerous as the car itself, because I can show you various spots on here where I have different friends of mine's skin that has melted into these things. It's an absolutely terrifying car. If you're not at the top of your game, you will burn your leg off getting into it, and then you will cut your head off driving it. I mean, you'll have a heart attack with the acceleration. The thing is absolutely terrifying, but that's why it's here. Yeah, so everything, when you build a car, obviously you've built many more than I have, but when you build a car, you want every piece to work in conjunction with its brethren and what it's bolted up to, so that you don't blow stuff. So you got a over 800 horsepower engine in a vehicle like this, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, when I drop the clutch in first gear, this thing twists like a freaking pretzel. I really used to not drive this car very much. My wife and I were out for a Sunday stroll down the 5 in San Diego, and two sport bikes pull up next to me. They're quite irritating, and my wife, having the personality that she does, she kind of got fed up with them very quickly. She knew what this car was like. She ironically calls it the coffin, and she gave me instructions to leave them in the dust. Well, I'm in fourth gear, I downshift to third, and I step on the throttle, not fully by the way, because I'm not ignorant, and I got the front end off the ground. So after that happened, I put this car away for 2 years, and I was absolutely terrified of it. The reality is that, I look like a monkey humping a football driving this damn thing. So if I flipped it, the roll bar is not going to do anything but protect my shoulder. The serious backstory with this is that when I played for the Atlanta Falcons, I used to live in Dawsonville, Georgia. 99% of the people who follow NASCAR and follow racing, period, know about Dawsonville, Georgia, and Awesome Bill from Dawsonville That was Bill Elliott. Well, Bill Elliott's brother, Ernie Elliott, was a very famous engine builder, and when Unique Motorcars wanted to do a limited version of these vehicles, they wanted somebody who could put a Ford power plant together unlike anybody else, and I guess Ernie Elliott came to mind, not surprisingly, and he agreed to do it. And as a neighbor of his, as a friend of his, you know, I got the wonderful opportunity to fly to some of the races with him. Bill actually took me for a ride when Chase was about that tall, and he had a red one, and I went up to Blairsville to take a ride with him. It actually was the teaser to get me into wanting to own one. So who in their right mind would be able to pass up an opportunity to have a Cobra replica with a NASCAR motor in it? So it's an extremely special vehicle for me. It definitely belongs here in Goldberg's garage because it's unique, it's different, it's violent, and it's extremely dangerous. But it's a lot of fun. Okay, Jackson, there's only one thing to do after telling everybody how violently fast and how much fun it is. Enough talk, let's take a drive. Okay. Again, a very eventful ride in the extremely dangerous Cobra. Well, it was true to its reputation. I think we need to start with maybe addressing this situation over here. It had nothing to do with me shifting hard or anything. I kind of have a reputation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't have like a ride and drive talk along because first of all, this was an issue. Second of all, there's not much room in here. And third of all, you can't hear me. So figured we'd do it in here. Here's the reality. This, as I said, is one of the most dangerous vehicles I've ever been in. And it needs an upgrade, like 1,000%. Granted, it was built in '92. Technology they had, you know, they used the best technology. But it's been a couple years since, '94. It's been a couple years since '94. So I think this thing is definitely in dire need of an upgrade.
Well, aside from the shifter, first place to start would be a proper tire and brake setup. Get the 15-inch wheel.
15-inch wheel.
And then you can run the Goodyear racing tires.
Yep, that'll make a huge difference. I think with the handling with the suspension definitely needs to be addressed.
Yeah, it's got the old coilover archaic shocks. Upgrade the shocks and the brakes, tires and wheels.
Brakes, tires, wheels, shocks. Obviously, we don't need to do anything to the power plant. I think Will Beatty needs to come out here and check out that Dyad clutch. Yeah, for sure. You know, the white letter tires, like we said.
Relocate the mirror.
Relocate the side mirror because this isn't too functional. Yeah.
These come loose every time we drive it.
Every single time we drive.
So we got to get
these literally unlock to where the hood just bounces up and down. Redo the gauges in here. I don't know what we can do interior wise, but
well, the hazard lights don't work, turn signals don't work, so we have to fix the wiring.
Absolutely fix the wiring. We'll probably get a different harness in this thing. I would truly, you know, it's a push button emergency brake. That doesn't help me at all. I'd love to put a handbrake in here.
Yeah, the actual hand lever.
100%. Make donuts easier.
Yeah, and fun.
And more fun. So there you have it. This bad boy is about to go under the knife for an overhaul. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, definitely like, comment, and subscribe to Goldberg's Garage.